¿Qué pasa, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Got for you guys today an analysis video of the Durham Druddigons in this little side league I decided to join just to kind of improve my skills on picking and team building in general for future league matches. Also in this league, the CCL D League, there are a pretty good amount of competent draft format players, so hopefully we can get some good matches in this league. So if you guys are excited for the Durham Druddigons to potentially dominate in another league, then make sure to hit the like button down below, or I could get absolutely destroyed, but that is not the plan I'm looking to do. I'm definitely looking to win this league, although it's not a serious league, it's more of a fun league. The rules when it came to drafting were that most Ultra Beasts were banned. I think Guzzlord was like the only one that was allowed. And then the Tapus were allowed. All Ubers from 6th gen were banned in this format, and there were no Megas to encourage usage of other Pokemon. So yeah, it is kind of a fun side league with the new Sun and Moon Pokemon. So that's another thing to kind of get a little feel about how certain Pokemon are in this drafting format. So yeah, if you guys are excited for this, then make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of our draft. If you would like to see everybody else's drafts, I'll leave a link to where you can see everybody's drafts in the description, so you guys can go click that and see just who we may have tough matches against in our matchups. Now, these matches will probably be going up on Mondays most likely, so be on the lookout for those starting next Monday, not this Monday. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the Mons. Also, there was only 11 Pokemon drafted instead of 12. So as you can see here, we have our picks. Again, there was no limitations, so there was really no tiers on like Pokemon to pick from. And yeah, so first off, my round 1 pick was Mamoswine, because Mamoswine is a Pokemon that I really think is an absolute monster in draft format. It has insanely good type coverage in ice and ground type. Stab, it has a base 130 physical attack, and in most matches you can easily just run adamant, and this thing just makes it to where your opponent has no safe switch-ins to it. Now, the only downside to Mamoswine is that while it may have no safe switch-ins to it, it does like to have walls around it to be able to switch out safely and bring in another Pokemon safely, while allowing that Pokemon to not consistently be worn down. It also has access to Stealth Rocks, which is pretty nice, and Freeze Dry to be able to hit things like Mantine or Gastrodon, and even Pelipper. And speaking of Pelipper, we got good old Pelipper as my second round pick. I was actually last in the order of picking, so I was able to get Wheel Pick for every round, which was pretty decent, and I decided to go with Drizzle Pelipper. It was either a toss-up between Tornadus or Pelipper, and just I really want to use Drizzle Pelipper in league format. I feel like it has some potential, although everybody was bashing me for this pick. I'm gonna make Pelipper work, man. Pelipper is about to put in so much work in these matches, and of course I had to go with Kingdra as my third round pick. This thing is an absolute beast in rain. The good thing about Pelipper is that it has 100% accuracy Hurricanes. It can have boosted Scalds, and above all, it gets access to U-turn. This thing can easily run a Scarf set or even a Spec set. It could go Damp Rock with Drizzle to be able to U-turn into something like Kingdra or our second Swift Swimmer, which I'll get into after I run through these Pokemon, which of course is Kingdra. And in most instances, Kingdra can honestly just go adamant with choice specs or even life form mixed or sub 3 attacks in the rain. Is still just an absolute powerhouse. Kingdra, I really think, is something that is underrated in league format, so I'm hoping to be able to put in a lot of work with it. Not to mention that it can also run a Dragon Dance set, like Dragon Dance in Swift Swim with rain. This thing is crazy. It gets Outrage, it gets Waterfall, sub DD with Swift Swim. I guess I could go the Sniper set with Focus Energy and Scope Lens if I really wanted to. But yeah, Kingdra just a very versatile and very bulky. Like, this thing has respectable bulk if you really look at it. And just so does Pelipper, just a nice fat mon. And then speaking of walls, for my fourth round pick, right after I picked Kingdra, I wanted a grass type that could fit on my team to be able to switch into pesky water types. and opposing ground types that may have Stone Edge as a coverage move. Also, another kind of soft check to electric types, and I decided to go with Tangrowth. Tangrowth is a very, very bulky mon, has access to so many supported moves and Stun Spore, Leech Seed, utility moves and Knockoff, and Sleep Powder even. No, Sleep Powder and Leech Seed, Knockoff, Stun Spore. It could run a Bandit set if it really wanted to, because it has respectable attack. Like 100 isn't that bad. Choice specs wouldn't even be bad coming from this thing with Modest. Leaf Storm could nuke everything. Assault Vest wouldn't be a bad option on it either because of Regenerator. This thing has so much bulk to it. It even has Synthesis, so if I don't bring Pelipper, I can just run Synthesis on this with Regenerator, and this thing will just literally never ever die. Obviously not with Assault Vest, but you get what I'm trying to say. This thing is very, very bulky, has access to so many utility moves that can be very helpful to my team. Even has access to Reflect. I could get up a Reflect if I really wanted to with this Pokemon, but Tangrowth I think is going to be another mon that is going to be pretty great in this league format. As next off, we have good old Reuniclus here, Jasmine the Reuniclus, Tomas. This is actually Tomas, hold on. Tomas, yeah, because I don't want people, well no, I mean, doesn't matter if it has the H, I mean, it's fine, it's fine. So we have Jasmine the Reuniclus here, which, Reuniclus, another Pokemon that is just so good in league format. I really wanted a Psychic type, and I could have probably got Mew a couple rounds earlier, but I thought that Reuniclus would still be a pretty good mon to have just because of the fact that it has access to Regenerator and it has Recovery. It can also go Calm Mind. It has access to T-Wave. It has access to Trick Room. It could run Knockoff. It could run just a defensive set with Recover, Toxic even to be able to stall things out. You could have Regenerator as its ability as well. Magic Guard is also good to be able to just switch into status moves and have a status absorber. Reuniclus can run a pretty good mono attacking set because if I'm not mistaken, it does have access to Iron Defense. So it could go Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Psychic, or Stored Power and Recover if my opponents don't have any Dark types, or if they lose their Dark types, then they're gonna have to watch out for Reuniclus to just wreck through their squad. Next off, we have the GOAT himself, Cobalion. Corbin the Cobalion. I really like Cobalion because it's another mon that's just so versatile. It could run Swords Dance, it could run Calm Mind, it could run Assault Vest, it has access to Volt Switch, it could even run a Toxic Substitute set, it has Taunt, it could go Rock Polish SD, I already said AV, again Calm Mind. Just this thing has so many great supporting moves. Stealth Rocks even is so huge. Stab Close Combat so it can beat opposing Steel types, or Volt Switch out against them. It's just, Cobalion is really, really good. Has a good speed stat and all around pretty decent bulk if you do ask me. So moving on to the last half of the Durham Druddigons in the CCLD league, we have Juliet the Jolteon because I wanted a electric type that could be able to kind of take on opposing electric types, and at this point Jolteon was really the best fit, not to mention that it is insanely fast. Like, there's some matchups where I could honestly just go Modest Choice Specs Jolteon or even Modest Expert Belt Jolteon and still just do so much damage. It gets access to Agility Baton Pass too if I wanted to go down that route, but as you can see, we do have Scolipede here. Specs on this would be pretty great. Maybe even Assault Vest could work out in some matchups. Choice Scarf actually wouldn't be that bad because who would expect Choice Scarf Jolteon considering how fast it already is. So I definitely think that Jolteon will be able to put in a lot of work. Next off, we have Hydreigon the Shield. Of course, shouts out if you get the nickname. And the beautiful thing about Hydreigon in league format is that it has such good type coverage that this thing is honestly kind of difficult to prepare for if your opponent lacks the right amount of checks or counters to it. Just because, again, it can be so versatile. It can run a mix set with superpower or with Iron Tail for normal types and fairy types respectively. It has an insane special attack and 2 hard-hitting stab moves in Draco Meteor and Dark Pulse. It gains access to Fire Blast and Flamethrower. It also has U-Turn and Thunder Wave and even Taunt and Tailwind. Like, there's just so much potential for Hydreigon. Even a Scarf set can be absolutely devastating. So Hydreigon is really going to be putting in a lot of... If I really wanted to, I guess I could have gone Guzzlord. But no, I don't want Guzzlord. I want Hydreigon. I want Hydreigon to be able to just destroy things. And then next off, we have Scolipede. I'm really hoping to use Scolipede really well in this format because I really think it's another mon that's underrated, and it has access to speed boost, which is really great because along with Sword Dance, it can make this thing a very potent late game sweeper. Now we do have Smogon Smogon Baton Pass clause, so he will not be able to Baton Pass SD or Iron Defense plus speed, but we can still Baton Pass speed boost to anything else on our team. For example, Hydreigon wouldn't mind a speed boost from this. We could even go like agility speed boost Baton Pass and just sweep late game with something like Snorlax, or even Baton Pass into Kingdra and just destroy everything. We have spikes, we have T-Spikes, we have a potent late game sweeper, a nice kind of tankish mon for fighting types if I do find them to be a bit of an issue. But Scolipede will hopefully be able to just spike stack and Baton Pass and just show off why Samantha should be a member of the Durham Druddigons in the CCLD League. And next off, we have Munchies the Snorlax here. This was honestly a toss-up between Arcanine or Snorlax, and ultimately, I decided to go with Snorlax because I feel like it's a bit more versatile than Arcanine. Arcanine can really only be a defensive mon, and I mean, since I am running a Pokemon that has Drizzle, I can bring Snorlax more times with Pelipper than I would be able to bring Arcanine with Pelipper, if you get what I'm trying to say. Plus, this could be a very good Assault Vest Pokemon. Even Curselax is still very scary in League format. It has such a wide array of coverage moves. I could even go Stockpile Belly Drum. For those of you who remember the Flaming Spade, you will know that set was actually pretty awesome back in the day. It could run a Restock Whirlwind set with Body Slam just to be able to phase things out. What else? Banded wouldn't be bad. The Stockpile, like I said, could be okay. It gets access to Fire Punch, Earthquake. What else? Gunk Shot even. Pursuit is going to be really good because we can Pursuit trap Psychic types or Ghost types that I may have issues with. And of course, Body Slam just being a very, very good stab move for Snorlax to be able to paralyze everything that decides to switch into it. And Thick Fat is a really, really good ability. And the final member of the Durham Druddigons is going to be Machete the Kabutops. Somebody suggested I should name this Trejo instead of Machete because it's obviously named after Danny Trejo's Machete character, because Kabutops is really, really cool. I honestly think that Kabutops is going to be something that people aren't going to be prepared for, so I can definitely see Kabutops hopefully catching things off guard and picking up some KOs that otherwise it wouldn't be able to. Like a Scarf Kabutops set also isn't that bad. It also gives us another form of hazard removal. We get another potent Swift Swim sweeper, a very good late game sweeper as well in Swift Swim. And I don't even need to Sword Dance with Kabutops because it already has an insanely high physical attack stat in base 115. Toxic wouldn't be too bad. X-Scissor for things like Celebi or pesky grass types. But yeah, I think that's really all that Kabutops can do. I really think that Kabutops will definitely... Oh, we can run Giga Drain for Gastrodon. Oh, there it is, boys. Giga Drain for Gastrodon, and it's over. So yeah, guys, that was the quick run through of the squad for the Durham Druddigons. It is kind of a pseudo-based rain team if you really look at it, but either way, I'm really excited to use Pelipper, and I really feel that it can do a lot of work along with Kabutops here. So let me know what you guys think of the Durham Druddigons in the CCLD League, and if you would like to check out what everybody else has picked to just see how well we stack up against them, then a link to that will be down in the description. So yeah, guys, that is basically the quick and but yeah, guys, that is basically it. So with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. So later, everybody.